It's Dr. Edwards. Welcome to Lunch and a Rant. Today's topic is going to be talking about why doctors seem to think that the mind is somehow not part of the body. I think this is a great topic, and if you're interested, please listen on. So when I was training as a medical student, many doctors would say that a problem was supratentorial. Now, what they mean by that is there's a sort of membrane between this part of the brain and this part of the skull down here, and all the part of the brain that really makes you and your personality are all up here. And so the implication from that is that anything that's going on with people mentally or emotionally is supratentorial and therefore not their problem. Unless, of course, they happen to be a psychiatrist or a psychologist. But I'm going to tell you the people that I was training with were not psychologists. Most of them were surgeons, and any problem that was supratentorial is not one that they wanted to deal with. This goes a long way back. So in Western medicine, we have all trained to learn things by systems. So there's the pulmonary system, there's the urinary or renal system, there's the nervous system, and people act like, you know, the nervous system is somehow completely separate from all those other systems, or completely separate from the cardiovascular system where the heart works, or separate from the gut. But in fact, none of that is true. The nervous system extends throughout the entire body, and roughly a third of the tissue that's like your brain is in your gut. So a significant part of your brain actually isn't in your skull at all. And I think the important thing to understand about this is when doctors are saying things are supratentorial, when they're saying they're not your problem, what they're saying is whatever your physical experiences are, whatever your important experiences are about your disease process or your health state aren't important to them. And frankly, I think that's ridiculous, and I think that's an absolutely terrible way to practice medicine, regardless of what your specialty is. Because the truth is, people are not separated into systems. People are actual human beings. They're complete, they're messy, they're very complicated, they're difficult to understand, and the reason we separated things into systems in the first place is trying to comprehend the enormity that makes up human physiology and human illness is beyond the scope of our mental capacity. So we have to separate it into systems. There's no other way to do it. But if you think about it, when you have a map, right, it's a representation of the territory. It's not the actual territory. Doctors, and many of my colleagues that I love, have really confused the map for the territory. The territory is huge, and the territory is difficult to understand, and the only people who have an inside experience of that territory are the people who are in it. Those are the people that we're actually talking to and trying to heal. I think this is important to our understanding as scientists and as healers, because what we do has no relevance unless it matters to the person that we're doing it to. And what we're doing, whether good or bad, is going to matter to the person we're doing it to. And if we don't address all of their issues, to include their mental health issues as part of their physical health issues, and vice versa, we are completely missing an enormously important part of healing. And we're also missing the opportunity to develop a relationship with our patient that is based on understanding them not as a collection of systems, not as a collection of problems, not as a disease state or a surgical case, but as an actual human being. I think as we progress as physicians and scientists that we can change this, and the entry of many younger physicians is starting to change that. But it's going to take a lot more work, and it's really going to take patients advocating for themselves as full people, not just systems or diseases, and nurses to also say, hey, wait a minute, this patient is a disease, to really move the practice of medicine forward in this arena. Because to be honest, mental health problems can be extremely difficult to deal with. They can be frustrating. It's hard to get people to change when they have depression or schizophrenia or polysubstance abuse getting in the way of what we consider as their treatment plan. But the thing is, those things aren't getting in the way. They're actually contributing to the whole problem. And so dealing with the whole patient is how we need to progress forward in medicine, and it's how I practice. And if you would like to learn more about how I practice and the idea of treating people holistically, please go to wowhealingcare.com. Please feel free to comment below if this resonates with you, if you disagree, and like and subscribe. Thanks for listening.